Time now to talk golf in the great big backyard of Victoria, and we're joined today by the General Manager of the Eastern Golf Club, an active member of GMV, Ben Telley, who's been good enough to join us on Inside the Ropes. G'day, Ben.
Morning, folks. How are we?
We're going okay. How are you going out in that beautiful neck of the woods?
Really well. Another beautiful day. The sunny here at Telley.
How's the course settling out there?
Of course, it's settling really well. The first holes are approaching 2 years of age. Some of the later holes on our third nine that we opened are less than 12 months old. So another 12 months of work to finish things up, and travelling really well.
Well, you've got an old Eastern Golf Club member here, a kid who cut his teeth on the old layout out there in Doncaster. Bit of melancholy having a conversation about this for you, I reckon, Clates.
It is, isn't it, Mike? Mike and I have had a few good chats over the years.
Yeah, it was.
In his time at Doncaster, living close to the property, I think on the boundary, Mike, is that right?
I used to jump the fence and walk on around the bottom dam onto the 8th tee. So that was where I learned how to play golf. It was amazing. I went up there to caddy. I wanted to talking about getting into golf. My dad played, and I'd been to some golf tournaments, but I didn't play. And I wanted some money, so I turned up at the pro shop. Alec Kinnersley was the pro. Mel Humphreys was almost the assistant pro. He wasn't even the assistant pro. And he said, "It's ladies' day. Come back tomorrow." So that's how much we knew about golf. So my mate and I came back on Wednesday, and I got a job and made $1. And Mel's dad, Merv, was the curator there. And he said, "Look, just stay out of the road of the members, jump the fence, play golf, you'll be fine." I mean, you couldn't join till you were 14.
Yeah, right.
So he just said, "Look, just jump the fence and stay out of the road of the members, you'll be fine." So I played for 2 years without him being a member. And then I joined. It was $12 to join.
Wow.
Junior membership. So it was. I mean, I loved that place. It was a great. So many memories of learning how to play there. It was incredible.
Have you got a $12 category now, Ben?
Close to it, maybe a week.
A latte.
Hey Ben, when you take in, when you do something like as significant an upheaval as the one that you went through, where you go through the discussions, the resolutions, the carving it up, and then the movement, and then the building of the new place. How traumatic is that to manage? How difficult is that to manage?
It's challenging. Is it any more or less challenging than the day-to-day life in a golf club? Probably not. It's about it's the same principles: engaging the membership, communicating well with them, taking them on the journey with you. Probably the most difficult part is, and it's been interesting, many members find it difficult to translate a two-dimensional drawing and are able to correlate that to a vision on a large property. Mm. I mean, it's just such a different scale to what our membership was used to at the Doncaster site. We've gone from 47-odd hectares to just under 250. So 5 times the size on terrain, and it's much more open space. We've planted 30,000 trees, but that'll take some time. And it's the scale. So when we used to do site visits out here, it was very interesting. The common feedback from members was, "I just had no idea it would be like this," in terms of the scale of that on site and the spectacular views. Interesting now at the Doncaster site that it's been developed by Mervac, you go back and visit and look down some of those fairways that used to exist. Now that a lot of the trees have been removed, you could well argue that the landscape out there is much prettier now that it's been opened up and used to get views through hole to hole rather than just being boxed in.
Oh, is Mike Clayton? Yeah. Mike Clayton's about to take his clothes off and run around the studio nude. He's so happy with what you've just said.
But I think that's true. I mean, within 3 months of us leaving, some of the views that existed on that property, because the golf holes were still there in the early days, they were just stunning. You could see the clubhouse from a whole range of holes around the golf course. It was remarkable.
Well, you totally. I mean, this is music to you. I mean, clearly you agree with this.
Yeah. Well, Eastern was tight, and Eastern had beautiful trees. I mean, it was one of with Northern and Peninsula probably had the best collection of eucalypts in Melbourne. But yeah, the 12th hole had been overgrown by the cypress on the left, and there was that silly cypress tree in front of the first green. But it was, I mean, I'm all in favour of opening up views because golf courses look better when you can see across them.
Yes.
But I drove into Eastern the other day, and it was bizarre to see a house on the 18th green, and it blows my mind to see what, it's incredible where my memories went.
So, Ben, in terms of kind of retaining old membership, from the original Eastern members and taking them across and attracting new members to the new club, is it easy to kind of tell us how that has kind of broken down?
Yeah, definitely. We from the move to Doncaster to the Yarra Valley, we retained over 90% of members, which I think far surpassed expectations of most. The retention for the second year was exceptionally high again, and we're just moving into the third year. Now, since the planning approvals were received, we've gone from a low of 650 members golfing. We're up to 1,100 now. We've got a waiting list for 6 and 7 day membership, which is fabulous. But probably the true complement is the social membership category as well. So we've signed up 1,500 social members since opening out here. And what that means is it's really becoming a destination for the community and well supported back in the day. And the benefit for the membership as a whole is when you get the facility use 7 days a week, especially in the clubhouse, that's returned back to members of all categories, as included. It allows the club to reinvest more golf course and the others. So it's been an amazing journey, and look, it's a success story thus far. A lot of hard work to do, and that won't stop. But we're really focused now on moving into the next chapter, which is starting to enhance the offering, not just for golfers, but really focusing on families in and around the club.
Which is it's a good segue to what I want to ask you, Ben. You wear a number of different hats, including the GMV hat, and not all clubs are perhaps thriving, as yours clearly is. Having said that, Victoria has done really, really well in bucking the trend and having more members than last year, as we discussed on a previous podcast. But there are challenges out there for golf clubs and I think, you might be the best place to tell us, but, shorter golf, more family-friendly, as you mentioned there, better access, better communities. What do you see as being the key to actually driving it into the next generation and not ripping it away from the people who have been so critical to its success so far, but making sure the next generation isn't sort of kept at arm's length?
No, absolutely. Look, needs and wants have changed, and I think fundamentally that's it. There will always be a role for what's referred to as the traditionalist, the golfer. But the next generation coming through is a little bit more cautious about how that family revenue is divided up and spent. And being conscious of that, it's never been more relevant for clubs to focus on that family unit. Now, whether that's family memberships or whether it's offering facilities outside of the norm, and I am certainly of the view that there's always a place for membership. I think we just need to refocus on the distinction between what a golf course and what a golf club is and what it actually means to the member. So that will include making sure that the value proposition is really strong for membership, facilities are of a suitable standard, and it doesn't mean we have to go over the top in terms of conditioning and so forth, but they do need to be appropriate. And then, for the non-golfer, as a family unit, what is there to do at the club? If we want to encourage visitation and we want to encourage families to spend time at the club together, so when that membership renewal notice comes in, it makes it an easy decision. What are we doing together to make that happen? And for me, look, I think the statistics in Victoria speak for themselves, but it really starts with talking positively about golf and talking it up a bit. It's knocked out from time to time, and I'm not sure it's entirely correct. So there's a lot of good things happening out there, and there's a lot of positivity that I think we need to keep feeding off and talking the game a lot. Right, talking it down.
Mate, we agree with you. That's why we're here, and we like the music. We like the tune you're singing today, mate. Good. Look, it sounds like it's been a fantastic it has been a fantastic success story by the sounds of it, and continued success to everybody out there. Thanks for coming on the show today and telling us a bit about it so far, and we look forward to hearing more stories about its growing in the future, mate. Thanks for your time.
Pleasure. Thanks, gents. Look, there's a good chapter coming up, so stay tuned. We'll launch our 9-hole par 3 course in October. So 9 short holes, targeted at juniors, beginners to the game of golf, getting more women into golf, or just satisfying those guys that want to go out and play golf in 60, 75 minutes. So we've got some fabulous stuff happening there, and that's really exciting.
There should be more of that sort of stuff.
More par 3 courses. Should be more par 3
Absolutely,
courses.
there should be. More Sereno Downs is out there in the world.
Yep.
There should be more of that sort of stuff. Hey, Ben, thanks. Good luck, mate. Thanks for your time.
Thanks, Jen.